program of Active Citizens by Active Citizens for all citizens, featuring in-depth analysis, news commentary, and issue-based interviews with stakeholders in governance and electoral process. The Agenda is about you, the listener, your part to determine who leads you, setting the agenda for public office seekers and holding them accountable. The Agenda, mobilizing citizens to meaningfully engage the 2023 general elections by making sure those seeking their votes have real intentions of true representatives. Tune in every Thursdays at 9 a.m. on Invicta FM 98.9. Join the conversation via phone-in and comments on our social media handles. Powered by Partnership for Issue-Based Campaigns in Nigeria, PICAN, and Invicta FM 98.9, Kaduna. The Agenda. Nigeria. My agenda. The Agenda. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey. The Agenda, Nigeria, my agenda.
And it's 2 minutes past 9 a.m. and today is another Thursday on Invicta 98.9 FM, Kaduna, Nigeria. And it's your program, our program, your favorite program, because this is an opportunity for you to get to meet and talk and interact with candidates as regards the general elections, talking about the 2023, the long-awaited 2023 general elections. And this program is sponsored by Partnership for Issue-Based Campaigns in Nigeria, PICAN. And today a very, very right honorable would be here to have a conversation today. And they're all here. Seated with me is Lawrence Obewe. My name is Joe Daniel. We'll be right back. If you're just joining us, you're on to Invicta 98.9 FM. Earlier, I was saying that this program is sponsored by Partnership for Issue-Based Campaigns in Nigeria, PICAN, and the co-anchors that would be doing this, I have Lawrence Obewe. Lawrence, good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
And I have Yusuf Goje as well. Yusuf, good morning.
Good morning to our listeners.
Okay, and the rest of the talking, would be done right here. And we have an honorable guest right here in the studio, but I'll let the cat out of the bag. For those who are streaming live, you'll see a very familiar face. He has been two-time chairman. Yeah, and he is contesting as well. So he is a candidate who would come and tell us his agenda right here on the program, The Agenda. Lawrence, you have the floor, as well as Yusuf Goje. Let's get it on. What do we have on the plate?
Good morning, Kaduna. Welcome to The Agenda this beautiful Thursday. I'm I'm here with my co-anchor, Yusuf Goje. Yusuf Goje, good morning.
Good morning. It's another beautiful Thursday. Time to discuss issue-based campaigns. Today is another beautiful day for us. We have a very special guest. At a point in time, the advocacy had always been for youth participation in politics, and it is our pleasure to say that the guest we have today in the studio has been an advocate of youth participation in politics, not just in words but in action. He's the former chairman of Kajuru local government, and now contesting for the membership of the Federal House of Representative, representing Chikun Kajuru Federal Constituency, Honorable Cafra Caino. Welcome to the studio, Honorable.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure hosting me.
It's good to have you this morning. As Goje said, you are an epitome of youth participation. You have the history, you have the action, and now you even want to go to the Green Chamber. So it's good to have you. And I'm sure that the people of Kaduna will, especially the Chikun Kajuru Federal Constituency, will like to have you this morning. Speak with you and hear what you have for them. So once again, welcome. Okay, good morning. So I'll start this morning by saying you're moving from the executive to the legislature, and constitutionally, two of them have two different roles. We want to know this morning, what do you think has prepared you for now the role of the legislator, having come from the executive?
And also, sorry, just to add, probably you want to also give us a background of your self, probably more information about who you are and other things that you think our listeners would need to know about you in terms of preparing you for the present position that you hold. Yeah.
Well, thank you for this privilege once more. It's always nice to be here. It's always cozy in here, and then I feel at home. I feel relaxed anytime I'm here. Like you earlier mentioned, the name is Honorable Cafra Caino Boaz. I'm a young person, an ambassador of the youth agenda. Also, started participating in politics right from school. University, I think from 100 level, I've been contesting different offices. Every year, every session, I hold an office till my graduation from the university. When I left the university, I was the director of socials in Ahmadu Bello University, and that was where I got the exposure, to meeting with people, different cultures and all that, even politicians. And then graduating from school, I started working with Airtel Nigeria Networks. Spent 5 years working there as a techie showroom executive. From there, I resigned and then pursued some other things like part-time lecturing, online sales executive, and some other things. Then I became the spokesperson for Kadfama, Kaduna State Facility Management Agency. Was from there I resigned to contest this office of the executive chairman of Kajuru local government. I think a lot has pushed me growing up. I've seen a lot of things that's happened in Kajuru local government, and I've always wanted an opportunity to make a difference. Lots of people believe political office is just about being a leader, being the boss, but I see it like an avenue for you to lobby, network, and bring up developmental projects and other things to the people, and that is what we've been able to execute while I was in office. We used our network and then lobbied for a lot of projects like the Kaso Magani Ultra Modern Market, the best market in the whole of the country, which cost us about 2.7 billion. And it's not easy, as in a local government cannot foot that bill to build a market, but through networking and lobbying, we're able to bring that market, which was commissioned by the Vice President of the country, Professor Osibajo. From there, moving there, after my tenure, last year I contested for my second tenure, but unfortunately I lost out of the election. A lot of people will say, you lost an election in Kajuru. Kajuru, there's in population is about half or quarter of what chikun is. So how then do you hope to win in entire chikun and Kajuru constituency? But I've been propelled by a lot of factors. I've been pushed by a lot of factors. I've been inspired, motivated. You know, uh, executive positions, especially local government chairman, are people where places is a place whereby you get to make policies. You know, things that affect the people. You get to determine. You get to choose. You get to make decisions on behalf of the people. We've been able to do a lot, and then coming back to the House of Representative, being a legislature, you know, you get to also make policies. You know, you make policies and then you push for things that are bothering your people. You become a voice for the people. I've been an executive. I know the problems of the constituency, and then I've stayed in Chikun local government all my life, Sabantisha precisely, and I also know what it entails in the entire Chikun local government. You know, one of the same problem we have is insecurity, and these are things we feel that people that are there have not spoken enough, have not pushed enough. In fact, have done nothing about it, and then we want to push and see how well we can do this. I fought insecurity in Kajuru local government. Kaswo Magani has been a center for crisis, communal and religious crisis. But during my tenure, we're able to bring that to an end. And so, some of these factors, like knowing that, okay, an executive, especially local government chairman who is under a state governor, is limited when it comes to things you can do for the people. So, I feel when I go to the House of Representatives, when I get there finally, by God's grace, 2023, I'll be able to push more. I'll be dealing with the Federal Republic of Nigeria now, and not just the state governor, the people here in Kaduna. I'll be able to push in help from the national down to this constituency. Most of the insecurity you see around, the people are stationed there in the forest, which engulfs Kachia, Kajuru, Chikun, you know, that same forest. Most of the people are there. It expands down to Benungwari and then to Zamfara. So if we can nip this thing in the bud right from here, I think we will do we'll solve a lot of the issues we have with insecurity. So these are some of the things propelling me and inspiring me and motivating me. And I feel, having been also a student of politics, I had a master's in international affairs and diplomacy. I also have another master's in development studies and policy analysis. So I feel I'm the most prepared candidate to go and execute these things I've learned and also put them into action. And then also, you know, I said experience also counts. And so experience plus knowledge about policy and all that, I think has given me a wide understanding of the problems and how to better solve these problems. I'm a community person, I'm on the grassroots, and then I know the pains of the people. So I want to go and be a voice for people of Chukunkajuru local government.
All right. Thank you for giving us that background, and it's glad to know some of the things you're looking forward to do when you get to the National Assembly. Because the campaigns have not started, but still yet we want to really look at the issues that will determine the outcome of the 2023 elections, particularly in Chukun Kajuru Federal constituency. But again, we have to consider the baseline, which is there is currently a legislator representing the federal constituency there. I was looking up at his background. I also saw that you share a lot of things in common in terms of age, in terms of first being a chairman before wanting to go to the house, and a lot of other similarities. But again, you're challenging someone that has been there for close to 20 years.
20 years precisely.
Yes, and he has been deputy majority leader. He has been the minority whip in the house, and that to a large extent gives him a ranking position in the house, which gives him more leverage to lobby and what have you. So how do you think, coming as a first timer, you'll be able to beat his records now? Because we also did a lot of background search to look at what he has done, but basically we've seen that he has pushed for at least 4 bills, out of which one was passed. One is the local government bill 2019, which is at first reading. National Emergency Management Agency Act bill, same first reading. First degree and higher national diploma dichotomy and discrimination bill 2019, which was passed. Then Prevention of Crimes Act amendment bill, which was passed. Because this is important, because lawmaking is your primary responsibility as a legislature. So we have seen what he has done within this period, and at least he has gotten one bill that has been passed, even though I don't know whether the president
No,
has...
it hasn't been signed.
Okay. So, and again, we've seen a number of motions, like when the Bethel Baptist School children were kidnapped, he raised a motion on that. He also sponsored a motion in that direction, calling the president to resign if he could not handle the insecurity challenges, and also a motion seeking for foreign assistance to address insecurity. So basically, looking at all of these things, what do you think you'll be doing better in terms of representation? Do you think with some of these things we've highlighted, he has done enough to address the real issues confronting Chikun Kajuru constituency, and what will you be doing differently?
Well, first of all, let me correct the notion you said about each. We're almost about the same. No, I think we're not. We're not. He's more than 10 years older than me.
No, when he contested first from chairman.
Fine.
He was in his 30s, to get into 40. When he contested, that was in 2003.
2003.
Yes.
Well, but a lot has changed over time. The world has moved from where he was. And I think right now we have a lot of youths, technological savvy, youths that are so much into current trends. And this is what we want to uplift or improve, And most of these people have moved from those, and they don't even know what is happening down here globally. Also, coming back to some of these bills you've spoken about, I'm so surprised you counted all these things, because we are not so much aware of this. But one of the biggest thing I can talk about is when it comes to security. You said when the Bethel students were kidnapped. By the way, that's my secondary school. I was a student of Bethel Baptist Secondary School. During my set, they moved to Kujama. And I must also use this opportunity to interest you to know that I was one of the victims, or I was in the train that was attacked. The train coming back from Abuja to Kaduna. I was in that train. So what I'm trying to say is, it's not about it happening and then you speaking about it. I was a victim. So I know the pains. I understand these things. I had gunshots. I was lucky I wasn't picked. If I was picked, you would have been seeing my video and shedding tears. This is Cafra, this is Cafra. He was a one-time chair, our former chairman is in the bush. I am a victim. And I understand this, and I told you I was an executive chairman in Kajuru local government. And in 2019, Kajuru was the most turbulent local government in Nigeria. That makes me an asset when it comes to security. How did we get to end the crisis in Kasumagani? It was through concerted efforts, commitment, and dedication to ending the crisis in Kajuru. It wasn't just magic that happened. We had to put in time, resources, energy, initiatives. I set up the Kajuru Conciliatory Committee, which at a point the governor called us together and called a member House of Reps to chair a committee to get the people together and united. He only attended our meeting twice and left me to carry on. I kept pushing until I resolved this crisis. And then when you talk about representation, it's not about the profile he has made over time. For me, if I can spend 4 tenors, in fact 3 tenors in the Federal House of Representatives, I can assure you by my 4th tenor I'll be the speaker. I will be the speaker. Because you can't spend 3 tenors as a legislator. Right now, currently, he's the highest serving member. What they call him in Abuja is landlord. But we're talking about issues here. When you go, there are a lot of things. The insecurity is not one that you just pick once and sit down. You push. What have you done? What have you done? You push. You do whatever it has to take to end this insecurity. It will interest you to know that while I was chairman, I followed the military, police, vigilantes into the bush, into the forest. I go with them. Sometimes when there are bandits or attacks, we go with them. I became a field commander. So I know these things. I know the forest. I can see everything. I just don't sit and hear what happens and speak. I was actively involved in it.
So what kind of laws will you be pushing to address these issues if you get the position?
Well, let me not start causing controversy, but I can, if I had time, I could name like 10 bills I had already prepared to push. But one of the main things, like I told you, one of my priorities is insecurity. And what I intend to do, like in Kajuru, one of the things we did was during one of our security meeting with the governor, we proposed that the local government wants to embark on like a self security outfit, a vigilante group. But after much deliberation, the governor gave us the opportunity, the approval to go ahead with it. But when the vigilante comes, Cadvis, we're going to withdraw that. And then that was one of the things that really helped us, because we got local vigilante, local community youths to form their own organization, security outfit. We brought in the Muslims, Christians, Fulanis, everybody together and formed a local security outfit. So that local security outfit with their den guns, which is allowed, by the way, is what is allowed, were able to repel bandits whenever they come. These bandits are also afraid of them. They don't want to see resistance. We were able to resist most of them. And that was why during my tenure, no village was ransacked. All the villages that were burnt at first, we empowered them and made them resettle. We resettled them back to their villages. But now, it's a different case in Kajuru. More than 15 villages that I know of have been moved, have been unsettled. So, one of the bills is creating local solutions to our problem, insecurity problems. And that is by establishing local vigilantes. Let them be recognized by government. We don't need government to pay them salary per se, but let them be allowed at least to carry light arms.
I thought, for example, in Kaduna we have the vigilante law. Do we need it at the national level?
I think what he's talking about is like the community policing.
Community
Where people from the community can protect themselves, because first of all is that everybody knows everybody around the community. If I am
Exactly.
if we are this
Exactly. It's like community policing, but you know, community policing is limited somehow. It's limited.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a kind of security outfit whereby they'll be allowed to carry light arms. Light arms, not prohibited arms.
Yeah.
You know, they will be empowered. Let federal government be aware of them. These people will be saddled with the responsibility of protecting the villages. See, I had to travel to Rwanda to go and understudy the crisis that engulfed Rwanda in 1994. I spent some time there studying their crisis, and it has a lot of similarities with what we're experiencing here in Chikun and in Kajuru during my time. And then one thing I realized right there in Rwanda was that for them to bring an end to the crisis they had way back, in which in less than how many months about close to 1 million people were killed, was that they created local solutions to the problem. There's how they call it in Rwandan language. I can't remember that. Ubuntu, something, I can't remember. But then, if you know about I think they call it machacha or something like that. When you study peace, you will know about it. And that is creating local solutions to local problems.
Yeah.
This insecurity is a national problem, but then where is involved? It is involved in the communities, in the localities. So if you start sitting up there or bringing Americans to come and give us solutions to what is happening in our country, we get it wrong. The people in the villages know what is happening. Sit with them, get ideas from them, and then establish a kind of force that's going to repel them. So that is what I'm going to push. Let us create local solutions to local problems. That is one of the things I would want to be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that the hallmark of democracy is that robustness of the legislator to be able to check the executive. Over the years, we've either had where the legislator is called a rubber stamp, or they say they are confronting the executive. Now, to be able to get that balance where one checks the other has been a major problem in Nigeria if you check from the federal to the state. And you, having been an executive before, I believe that you should be coming with experience on how to manage that relationship. So, in your own words, how do you think that that relationship can be managed where it is neither called a rubber stamp relationship or a confrontational relationship between the executive and the legislature, especially at the national level?
Well, I think there I have a very good advantage because I'm a lobbyist. Like I said, studying international affairs and diplomacy, has given me a wide idea on how to lobby for projects, for things, for for the people. And then I also executed that in Kajuru, like I said, about the market and other things, projects like that. A lot of projects were not in our budget, but were being helped. We got them from the state government. So with the experience of being an executive and now a legislature, I already understand the intricacies of all these offices and now be able to match them. They have their own separate rules, but there's where they come together, So I will be doing all I can to support the executive, but in the same light, I'll be using that advantage, that opportunity, to also lobby whatever I can to my people. I think if the executive are doing what they should, there will be less friction, there will be less discrepancies and misunderstanding. But as a good lobbyist, I think I have the potentials, I have what it takes to know how to live in peace with them. I'm also a student of peace because of what happened in Kajuru local government. I went through different programs, different seminars, different courses, and some of them are not even talking about people, communal clashes and all that, but talking about living in peace with your co-worker, living in peace with your neighbor, living in peace with the government, inter-office relationship. And these are something we've done over time, and my experience will come into play when it gets to that level.
All right, so we'll go for a quick commercial and come back and continue with the conversation. Join us.
We'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Are you serious? For real, are you serious? Victor FM.
Kamar yadda kowa yake sanyin abin alheri da bai taɓa yi ba, kamfanin MTN ma yana so ya samar da wani babban abin alheri mai kama da tallafin karatu, amma da kuɗin kira a bisa tsarin MTN Garabasa. Yanzu za ku iya samun Garabasar ninki 10 na kuɗin kira in har kuka sa kuɗin kiran da ya kai naira 100 ko sama da haka a wayar ku a bisa tsarin MTN Garabasa. Ma'ana za ku samu kuɗin kira har naira 1000 a duk lokacin da kuka saka katin naira 100 a wayar ku bisa tsarin MTN Garabasa. Ba a nan ta tsaya ba. Za ku iya shiga yanar gizo ku ji waƙoƙi, ku kalli fina-finan da kuke so da MTN Garabasa a duk lokacin da kuke so. Sai ku danna *800* sannan lambar sirri, sannan ku saka kuɗin kira da ya kai naira 100 ko sama da haka don morar Garabasar.
Enjoy the creamy coffee taste of Cowbell Coffee. Round the clock, it's really delicious. Taste it and you'll love it. Cowbell Coffee. Taste the creamy side of coffee.
Now available in multi-pack pouches at 750 Naira only.
Power oil, power oil. Bunga cooking oil, we get different sizes and different packs. Power oil, power oil. The one way they sweet me na mini pack 400 Naira. Yeah. Power oil, power oil. Everywhere. Power oil, good for your heart. Power oil. No cholesterol. Power oil, no trans fat. Power oil. And people who listen to your heart use power oil. Power oil, power oil. Power oil. When you wake up in the morning before you start your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time. For work and for play, for a great start to your day, breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Give your family a tasty, nourishing breakfast of Kellogg's cereal, powered with the goodness of grains and 11 essential vitamins and minerals. Now also available for just 50 Naira.
Breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Hadiza, yaya tafiyan ki Maiduguri? Na ji daɗin Arewa. Rabiskan da na ci a can na da ƙamshi da ɗanɗano mai katarwa. Iye. Binci ya nuna. Ke Larai, ke ma shi kika dafa? Kuma ya fi wancan daɗi. Ta yaya kayan armashin girkin onga kike bukata domin dandano da kamshi mai kayatarwa. Farantaran waɗanda kike kauna da lafiyayyen dandano a gidanki.
Onga, Mama's helping hand.
As football season won't start so, everybody don't ready to land for them location. Hurricane, Ihe Nacho, De Bruyne and Co. Don't show EPL bus stop. Benzema and the Spanish League boys don't reach La Liga too. Giroud, Lukaku, even Pogba don't follow enter Serie A.
Serie A day.
Everybody don't show for the new football season as it dey hot on Top Go TV.
Now so, my people, now bigger season with Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Europa, FA Cup and more. Also ready yourself for FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Stay connected to Go TV or get Go TV decoder, Go Dinner plus 1 month max subscription for only 6,900 naira to enjoy greater football this new season. Go TV, love it.
Mai gida, yau ce ranar allurar mu ta yi wa kai fa. Mai gida, da wannan allurar dakatar da haihuwa babu fargaban ɗaukar ciki. Akwai hanyoyi uku masu sauƙi na yi wa kai allurar. Na ɗaya, zan bincini cinyata. Na biyu, zan yi allurar a wurin da na bincini cinyata. Na uku, za mu iya jin daɗin kariya har na wata 3.
Anya ba zafi?
Yar ƙaramin allura ce mai gida.
Har kin yanzu nan da sauri haka?
Ai na faɗa maka mai gida.
Domin neman ƙarin bayani game da allurar yi wa kai, ku kira mu kyauta akan layin Airtel idan aka danna 321 sannan 30 ko ku ziyarci shafin mu ta yanar gizo a discoveryourpower.org. Wannan sako ya zo muku ne da ƙungiyar lafiya ta iyali tare da haɗin gwiwar ma'aikatan lafiya ta tarayya.
Honey, must you go?
Babe, you know I must. Besides, you can always video call me.
Hey, what if your battery runs out?
I've got my power bank.
Hey, and when your power bank runs out?
Babe, I've got my laptop.
Okay, wait. What if your data runs out?
Babe, you know we never run out of data.
Never run out of data with Airtel Home Broadband Unlimited Ultra plans. Enjoy unlimited data with no speed cap plus extra data daily so you never have to worry about running out. Visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to get started.
Babe, but I just left the house.
Yes, honey. It's video calling all the way.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Agenda. The Agenda is a public enlightenment program designed to give power back to the people through promoting political participation, issue-based campaigns, and social accountability. The Agenda is a weekly program of active citizens by active citizens for all citizens, featuring in-depth analysis, news commentary, and issue-based interviews with stakeholders in governance and electoral process. The Agenda is about you, the listener, your power to determine who leads you, setting the agenda for public office seekers and holding them accountable. The Agenda, mobilizing citizens to meaningfully engage the 2023 general elections by making sure those seeking their votes have real intentions of true representatives. Tune in every Thursdays at 9 a.m. on Invicta FM 98.9. Join the conversation via phone-in and comments on our social media handles. Powered by Partnership for Issue-Based Campaigns in Nigeria, PICAN, and Invicta FM 98.9, Kaduna. The Agenda. Nigeria. My agenda.
Welcome back to our listeners. It's good to know that you're still with us as we continue this conversation. So we'll quickly go back to our questions so that our guest can attend to them, and afterwards we get you, the listeners, to also ask your questions and make your comments so that you get his own feedback. Quickly, we want to, we've looked at the primary responsibility of the legislator, which is lawmaking, and the motions that you tend to present before the chambers. One critical area that has been known with the legislators at the national level is that of the zonal intervention projects, which is popularly called constituency project. We came about around 2003 too, because most legislators complained that their constituents did not really understand their role. So when they come back, they ask them for the same projects that they see the executive arm. So I think then that was why constituency projects were created, so that legislatures could always have something to complement, to bring back to their constituents. And over the years, the current member, we've seen we've done budget analysis of the federal level, and we've seen that a lot of projects have been captured for Chikun Kajuru federal constituency at the level. And I think if my analysis is not wrong, annually he gets on average between 300 to 400 million naira worth of projects for the constituency based on our assessment. For example, in 2019, we saw a lot of projects like provision of solar powered boreholes at about 100 million, provision of street lights 20 million, empowerment item to constituents 25 million, ICT training for women and youth 50 million. So we have that. For 2022, we've seen provision and rehabilitation of transformers in Chikun and Kajuru local government 100 million, renovation of selected primary schools in Chikun and Kajuru about 100 million, then completion and furnishing of Dambushia police station in Chikun LG about 51 million and all of that. So these are huge sums of money. Probably we want to hear your assessment whether these things are really visible. That is on one part, but more importantly, for him to be able to attract these huge sums, it means that he has put a lot of work in lobbying and ensuring that he's able to attract this project to his constituency. So what will you be doing differently, better, or looking at the projects, the kinds of projects that he's nominating? Do you agree with them? Do you think you can, or are they really projects that are addressing the core needs of the people within the constituency? And particularly, what kind of projects would you be pushing for when you get to the green chambers?
Well, thank you very much. One question I want to ask you is if you've been able to follow up with this project to see their locations and if these projects were executed or not. Have you been able to do that?
Well, I've not tracked the project personally.
Please, I would. The nomination, yes.
Oh. No, but if he has more information.
Yeah, but fine. That, it's okay. Because I also have a couple of other projects here that have all been lobbied for and paid for. But we at the constituents are yet to see this project. So talking about lobbying, like I told you, calculate this total sum from 2003 that he has been in the Federal House of Representatives to this very year, 2022.
Yeah.
His 20th year as a member House of Representatives. The total sum for these projects are not up to 2.7 billion. But within 2.5 years, as a local government chairman, do you know what local government is in Hausa? Karamar hukuma, small hukuma, small authority. As a chairman in a small authority, I've been able to lobby for a 2.7 billion market. This market is supposed to grow the economy of Kajuru local government. This is what I've been able to do in 2.5 years, less than one tenure. So imagine if someone that has this potential to lobby for 2.7 billion can do in 4 years, in 8 years. So projects like this are things I can lobby for more than what you have entailed. And it's not even about, because when you look at these projects, how has most of these projects affected the life of a common man? That's just the point I think we should be looking at right now. There's a lot of challenges right now in the communities. There's hunger, there's healthcare issues, and then there's insecurity topping almost every of this. Unemployment, people need empowerment. I have a member House of Reps who is also in his first time in Kachiaka Garku, who has been able to give about close to 60 people jobs. I have the one from Ikara Osoba, which recently I saw about 3 army, 3 police who came to appreciate him for jobs he has given them. I've seen the member for Kajaku Har, who also had 3 custom officers who came to appreciate him for jobs he has given them. We should be looking at empowering our people. Yes, constituency project is a good thing, because I think, yeah, like you said, it's the job of executive, but legislature too. In doing this, they tend to complement the effort of the executives. I'm aware of that. But in our own case, we don't see these projects. We hear huge sum of money, but we don't see them. But meanwhile, I think one of the biggest thing I want to do, insecurity, I've talked about insecurity, but I'm more concerned about employing the youths, giving them something to do, skills acquisition. Imagine this ICT training. You train people. I'm aware of this kind of, that's the one I know of. I was chairman when there was one in collaboration with Peace Institute in Abuja, a project for 50 million to train people on peace. And then in this training, the training was held in somewhere Lesham, his hotel in Barna. And in this training, you know, people came and they were given 10,000 to go with. I don't know how they were nominated. They just nominated some people and gave them 10,000. I think they gave them laptops too. That's what they call ICT training. Give me 50 million to train youth. At the end of the training, you have networking experts, you have Oracle experts, you have people building apps. This is what I'm going to do. Apps that will be beneficial to the community. Not just come sit down, talk to them, and then give them 10,000. And they go. 50 million. I raised an issue. I had to go to Abuja. I don't want to go into details what happened, because it will be very, very shocking. But then, I think we should be looking at projects that really benefits the common man. How about enrolling 1,000 people, like the member Kaduna South constituency? He has enrolled, I think, about 3,000 people into healthcare programs. Kachma. He has paid. Every year he pays. Year in, year out. He pays. So if you have headache, a pregnant woman, go to the hospital. Your treatment is catered for. Because I think these are some of the issues. Economy is hard. People are hungry. They need some kind of subvention. They need something to complement whatever they're doing. People just want to feed now. That's why you find out as little as a headache kills somebody. He lies down. He doesn't have money to take drugs. 100 naira, 200 naira. He doesn't have to take drugs, and he dies. I want to enroll the elderly, and the less privileged into this kind of programs, whereby their health will be catered for. They'll be taken care of. Let me pay year in, year out with the constituency project. I want to get motorcycles for the local vigilantes. That's something that's never happened in my constituency. Motorcycle for local vigilantes. Give them motorcycles so that whenever these bandits are coming on bikes, they will also climb their bikes. The local vigilante, I want to push a bill to be created so that they will go and repel them. I want people to sleep in peace. I want people to wake up happy. Communities like in Kajuru local government, Kujeni community. It is one of the most interior villages, close to the forest, the last village from the forest. Every time they're interfacing with the bandits, we brought in, through lobbying and networking, we brought in USAID. USAID came, they put up solar panels for them, over 30 solar panels, gave motorcycles, and then empowered the youths, gave them security, torchlights, umbrellas, boots, whistles, to work with, so that they took them on training on early warning and response, mechanism. Taught them all these things. So these people became proactive to security challenges. And that was how they've been able to keep the village going on until the bandits had to come together, get a lot of, because they became a threat to them. And then came and then ransacked the village. We resettled them. But unfortunately now they are not there. So imagine if you have some of these villages. Kujeni is there. Get a village, Gengere, get Kaso, and some of these villages like this around chikun kajuru to be empowered, have motorcycle, have security light, and the security is not just within the village, it's a little distance from the village. So anything that's coming in the night from a distance, you can sight it. Train them on early warning response. And then also they've been able to build a kind of barricade, barbed wires, perimeter fencing to stop intruders from entering these villages. These are things I want to look at. How do I protect my people? How do people sleep in peace? I don't want to come bring ICT. And if I'm bringing ICT, because yes, I'm a technologically savvy person, I'm a young person, but if I'm bringing technology, I want to train people in technology. I want to ensure that it is a skill that you can make money from. I won't do politics, come and sit down, collect 10,000. No, I won't do that. If I have to spend ₦1 million on you, I will spend ₦1 million. If I have to send one of my constituents to India to go and learn technology, hiking or whatever, I will send him. He comes back. I look for a work for him with EFCC, forensic investigations. I will train them. In fact, what I intend to do, one of my projects I intend to do, there is this shipping line in a shipping school in Port Harcourt, whereby you can go and train somebody for 1 month only, and then he can have certification on some little maintenance and repairs of ships. So imagine I lobby to be a member of the shippers committee on shipping, NIMASA also. I will have the opportunity, leverage to meet a lot of shipping companies. And when I train people, how much does it cost? It costs less than 150,000 to train for somebody for a month. If I'm taking 10 people, or let's say one from each ward, 150,000 times 22, how much is that? For Kajuru local government, 10 wards. 150,000, 1.5 million. What is 1.5 million? Give them allowance of like 50,000, so 200 per candidates. 10 people from Kajuru, 10 wards from Kajuru. I pick one. How much am I having? That's 2 million. I'm spending 2 million to send you to Port Harcourt. Go and train for 1 month, and then I go meet these companies and then lobby to have these people as internship. They go on internship, 6 months, 1 year. It's a program I'm going to design through my foundation, Marocano Foundation, and then they go and train. After that internship, the best of them, will be retained. So automatically you've created job. These are some of the things I want to use constituency projects for. Empower the people. And then constituency project, we've seen Honorable from Kaduna South, Morovia, Mukhtar. He has tarred a road from at Bahago Road. Within 2 years, he's a first timer too. Within his first 2 years, he tarred a road. That road, I think, cost about 50 million. 50 million, for God's sake. For the past 20 years in chikun local government, we don't have one tarred road that's been done by constituency project. And we're suffering. Every day we're fixing our brake pads. These are some of the things we intend to do. Community projects are impactful on the community.
All right. Okay. Let's leave the big projects and go to dispute resolution. Okay. I also know that constituency office, maintaining constituency offices, is one of the duties of legislators. Now, it is basically to be able to resolve disputes and connect citizens, to build a bridge between the citizens and the government. Now, it's been either done in breach or has been absent. Now you're going to the Green Chamber. What do you do to bring back the vigors and constitutional roles of constituency offices if you are elected to the Green Chambers?
Well, for a start, I think it will impress you to know that I've already set up a constituency office. Okay. For now, we're using it as a campaign office. When the campaign starts, fully furnished in the heart of Sabantisha, we set up a committee, a constituency office. And this constituency office is something I've paid and furnished since February this year. And I intend to run this if given the opportunity throughout my tenure. I have an office there. It's where I want to go, choose a date, go and sit down with my constituents, hear their problem, so that it will give me a better insight into handling most of the issues here. I agree with you. Once there's a constituency office, you find out you get to hear firsthand information about the problems, the challenges that your people are facing. It's very, very vital and very important. We said that already. And why I had to do that is one of my strategies. Because in the past 20 years, if you ask me where is the constituency office for my member, House of Reps, I don't know. And I know everywhere, every corner in chikun and kajuru. But I don't know where there is a constituency office. I want to have a direct contact with the people. I want to listen from them. I want to hear their worries. It will give me a better perspective, better way of creating ideas and innovations to solve these issues. And then it will make me a better representative, because I will be able to speak directly as if they are speaking. We are not afraid to see them, the locals. If it's money they want, if you have, you assist. If you don't have, you tell them, but I can do this and that and that. So I agree with you. It's a very vital thing, and it's very important, especially in places with very high number of challenges. We're going to set it up. We've set it up already, and then we intend to sustain it to the end of our tenure.
Okay, one of the things we are doing on the agenda is to collect campaign promises of would-be politicians so that we'll be able to follow up when they're eventually elected and make sure that some of those things are done. Now we're also harvesting yours, and I'm glad to tell you that we're also going to follow up on some of these things because some of them are a worry to us. I'm sure listeners will always tell you that politicians are very sweet during campaigns, but once they are elected, they begin to create a gap between them and their offices. So we expect that whatever you are telling the listeners today, this morning, or what you have said in the past, or what you're going to say when the campaigns eventually starts, that you're going to keep to them, because we too will have a dashboard where we store all the campaign promises and follow up on it. Goje, do you have something else to say?
Yes, I think by 10 we'll be going for a break. But just to ask, one of the things that determine the effectiveness of legislators most time is if at the probably executive arm you have the same person from your party leading the executive arm. So in the instance where you don't have such a situation, how would you be able to carry out all of these laudable interventions? Because most of the legislators that perform, if you look at it over the years, it's because the president or the governor is from the same party as them. So the ministers are usually people they know and people that they have worked with. But in a situation where the president or the leaders of the executives are from the opposition party, what kind of strategies are you bringing differently? Because even the person incumbent here can use that and say, okay, there are periods that not necessarily our party was in power, and that's why you might not get one or two things. So what will you be doing differently? Then secondly, just to also add is that how will you be generating the issues? You talked about your town hall meeting, but do you have a channel through which the constituency projects will be nominated by the community in a way that it's not just politicians around you that will just come and say, let's do this? No, but it is community driven. That yes, this is what stakeholders in the community want, and this is what you're taking at that level. So these are just the two quick questions.
All right.
Yeah.
I was still going to go back to what he just said about the dashboard you mentioned. So I think it's also good. I mentioned, like I've been doing in my local government, there's going to be like a periodic town hall, quarterly town hall meeting. Coming back to your second question, that will be one of the indices or criteria we'll be using in selecting, in taking up problems in the neighborhood, in the communities. In community town hall, you tell them, your constituents, what you've done so far, bills you've pushed, and projects you've lobbied for them, people you've placed, giving them jobs, scholarships you've paid, health insurance that you've given elderly and also less privileged orphans and widows, because we have a lot of orphans and widows in chikun kajuru due to the insecurity and crisis. Lots of people have been killed. We've created a lot of them. I want to pay their school fees. I want to put them into a health insurance. So some of these things in town hall meeting, you get to hear the cries of the people. So cries of the people and the challenges they are facing gives you a better perspective, like I said earlier, about what to do that will solve their immediate problem, that will also solve a long-term, medium-term, and short-term problem. It will give you an idea of what to do that the people will be very happy with your representation. So take it down and also follow up on that. And also, like you said, during my campaigns now, what I do once the campaign starts, like I did while I was chairman, is that I sit down. When I go to a community, I do mostly of interactive and engagement, community engagement. I don't just go and campaign, hey, oh, power, power. No, I don't do that. I sit down. Everybody sit down. Let's talk. I address them, tell them plans I have, visions I have for the people, the youths, the women, the elderly, the unemployed, the students, the petty trader. Talk to them. And then they give me their responses. Some people give me their own issues. We don't have hospitals. We don't have good water supply. We don't have roads. We don't have this. And then I jot them down in my diary. I keep this as a very important. At the end of the day, I remove most of these issues or needs, and I put them into a special book. That's what I do. And while I'm in the office, I always refer back to these books. I look for opportunities. And talking about these projects, how do I get this project? Yes, it's not just to sit down and lobby like you said, if the government is not from my party. God's willing, inshallah, we are very rest assured and hopeful that we'll clinch the presidential election and we'll also clinch the gubernatorial election. And that will give me a better opportunity to work and bring development to my people. So,
but how about just in case?
Just in case.
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's why I was saying even.
Yes.
But it's gonna happen. But just in case, like you said, just in case, like you said, if it doesn't go as planned, let me tell you something. Are you aware that a member House of Reps can go to the Ministry of Agriculture? There's the feeder road they construct for communities, mostly agrarian communities. Kajuru is like that. Majority or our what do you call it, occupation, it's farming, agriculture. I go to Ministry of Agriculture, I lobby for roads, feeder roads, so that the farmers can transport their goods into the market. And then I go to Ministry of Health, I lobby for hospitals, I lobby for this project. You don't have to wait for community constituency projects. You can go and lobby for these things. I've done a lot of them in Kajuru local government. Ruwasa has given me more than 10 boreholes, solar powered boreholes. Ruwasa alone. UNICEF, you said we've lobbied for a lot of projects. This is what I intend to do. I don't intend to go and sit down in the house and just fill my AC and go. When I'm not in the house, I want to be entering ministries and lobbying for opportunities, positions, jobs, so that I can put my people in. This is how I intend. So you see, doing that, I don't need whoever is president. I don't need whoever is governor. I just need to go and introduce myself as member, House of Representative, representing Chikun Kajuru. How can you assist me? My people are suffering from this. And I can see, I will make researches. I already have a research department I've been using for campaigns and all that. They're going to research opportunities that we can, even from the international donors. While I was chairman, I was supposed to travel to California and get some support. There's some of these projects they do. And if I'm in the House of Reps, I will still continue with that. They pick up a community. They've done that for Edo, I think, or Delta. They pick up a community and then mentor the community. So most of their vehicles they use for police, when they're about, because they don't wait till the vehicle spoils like us here in Nigeria. After a particular year, they change it. So they give to those communities. Hospitals, they give the hospital equipment to those communities. These are some of the things I want to bring down to the people.
All right. So thank you very much, Honorable. We'll just go back to Job Daniels for the news brief.
Mai gida, yau ce ranar allurar mu ta yi wa kai fa. Mai gida, da wannan allurar dakatar da haihuwa babu fargaban daukan ciki. Akwai hanyoyi uku masu sauki na yi wa kai allurar. Na ɗaya, zan bincini cinyata. Na biyu, zan yi allurar a wurin da na bincini cinyata. Na uku, za mu iya jin daɗin kariya har na wata uku.
Anya ba zafi?
Yar ƙaramin allura ce mai gida.
Har kin yanzu nan da sauri haka?
Ai na faɗa maka mai gida.
Domin neman ƙarin bayani game da allurar yi wa kai, ku kira mu kyauta akan layin Airtel idan aka danna 321 sannan 30 ko ku ziyarci shafin mu ta yanar gizo a discoveryourpower.org. Wannan sako ya zo muku ne daga ƙungiyar lafiya ta iyali tare da haɗin gwiwar ma'aikatan lafiya ta tarayya.
Enjoy the creamy coffee taste of Cowbell coffee. Round the clock, it's really delicious. Taste it and you will love it. Cowbell coffee. Taste the creamy side of coffee.
Now available in multi-pack pouches at 750 naira only.
Keep it locked, keep it loud. Turn your radios up. 98.9.
This is my message to the youth. This is my message to the youth. Stand for your rights and be careful in what you do.
The time is 10 o'clock.
This is Invicta 98.9 FM, Kaduna, Nigeria. I am Job Daniel with the news brief. The federal government has approved a national flood emergency preparedness and response plan in Nigeria. This plan, the government says, is for more resilient and effective response measures to mitigate the impact of flooding on Nigerians. While disclosing this after the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Sadia Umar Farouk, urged all states and operational stakeholders to implement the plan in order to advance national development. The Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, believes Nigerians do not have good reasons to be disappointed with the federal government's handling of the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU strike. He said this on Wednesday during an interview on national television. The lecturers have been on strike since February 14th, but negotiations between them and the federal government have thus far not yielded results, a development that has triggered reactions from Nigerians. When asked if Nigerians should be disappointed over the government's inability to resolve the impasse, he said the government is not at fault. From the foreign scene, the Australian state of New South Wales has rolled out an initiative to encourage more women to join the male-dominated construction industry. NSW Treasurer Matt Keane said in a statement that the scheme, called a culture standard for the construction industry, was designed to boost productivity and secure brighter futures for the state's construction workers. Keane said the 20.2 million Australian dollars program was part of a 112.7 billion Australian dollars infrastructure pipeline to improve worksite morale and safeguard workers' mental and physical health. And in sports, Robert Lewandowski struck a hat-trick in his first Champions League game for FC Barcelona to power the Catalans to an emphatic 5-1 home win over Victoria Plzen on Wednesday. Midfielder Frank Kessie put FC Barcelona in front in the 13th minute, and Lewandowski extended their lead with a right-footed finish into the bottom corner in the 37th minute. The Poland striker produced a diving header from an Ousmane Dembele cross to score again in first half stoppage time. And that makes the news brief at 10. A major bulletin comes up at midday. Good morning and have a victorious day. Handing you over to Lawrence Obewe and Yusuf Goje with Honorable Cafra Caino as guest on the program The Agenda.
The Agenda. The Agenda is a public enlightenment program designed to give power back to the people through promoting political participation, issue-based campaigns, and social accountability. The Agenda is a weekly program of active citizens by active citizens for all citizens, featuring in-depth analysis, news commentary, and issue-based interviews with stakeholders in governance and electoral process. The Agenda is about you, the listener, your power to determine who leads you, setting the agenda for public office seekers and holding them accountable. The Agenda, mobilizing citizens to meaningfully engage the 2023 general elections by making sure those seeking their votes have real intentions of true representatives. Tune in every Thursdays at 9 a.m. on Invicta FM 98.9. Join the conversation via phone-in and comments on our social media handles. Powered by Partnership for Issue-Based Campaigns in Nigeria, PCAN, and Invicta FM 98.9, Kaduna. The Agenda. Nigeria. My agenda.
Glad you're still there. As we wind down, we'll soon be opening the lines so that you can talk directly with Honorable Cafra Caino this morning on the agenda. But just before we get to that, Honorable, I want to ask you a question because I think that this is the most important that the citizens of Kaduna will want to hear. Over the past seven years, the government and citizens in Kaduna have developed a model of picking citizens' needs from communities, where communities gather together and decide what they want government to do for them. We call it the Community Development Charter, CDC for short. As we are going to the green chambers, will you be willing to populate the needs of the constituency projects that you're going to do at the federal level from these CDCs developed and chosen by community and push the needs of the people to the federal level?
Well, I think the only new thing I'll be experiencing when we get to the Federal House of Reps is knowing the CDCs in Chikun local government. Because as executive chairman of Kajuru local government, I was privileged to work with CDC. They were trained under me. They came, trained the community development charter, the members. They selected their leaders, and I've been able to work with them. In fact, I've been able to involve them in most of my budget preparation, because I was the first. I don't know if I'm the only, but I was the first executive chairman that presented his budget before his legislature. I brought them together in their chamber. I came, presented my budget, and I was accompanied by CDC and other members, community leaders. We sat down and brought out this budget and then picked from community needs. I didn't make the budget. I had my own input, because a leader has to be a visionary, has to see beyond what people see, has to see for the future. So I brought in my own input, but most of contributions that were made into the budget were from CDC and the community. They went about the community, picking problems and needs, and then brought them together into a document in which I was able to put up as a budget, and I presented before the legislature. So yes, I'll be working with the CDC because we've been working together. It will just be a continuation from where I stopped last year.
Okay, that's another commitment from Honorable Cafra Caino. Dear listeners, this is the time for you to air your voice, your opinion. But please, in asking questions or making comments, be civil and respectful. It's not a place for abuses, and we'll cut off your call once we've sensed that abuse is on it. So please be civil, and each caller will have 2 minutes.
All right.
The number, okay.
The number to call is 081 40989, 081 40989, 070 87800 989. You can also go on Facebook and drop your comments on Invicta FM 98.9.
Good morning, Lawrence. Good morning, and all your colleagues and your guests. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're on to Engineer Manuel.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I've had the submission of your guest. My question to him is this: he say he lobbied when he was the local government chairman. He lobbied for the building of Kasoma Relief Market. I went to that market. Since that market was built till now, that market is underlocked. Was it built just for building sake or for people to occupy it? What are they demanding for the people so that they will be able to occupy that thing and pay with ease, not with sweat? Because if you are for the people, you do things that will ease their pain, not to increase their pain. Now, he talks about insecurity, which is the general terms. We know insecurity of a thing. They are on board because it's from the APC. They are the one on board. They promised that if given the mantle of leadership in 3 months, they will end the insecurity situation. Now, what do you think he wants to come and do different? If peradventure he takes over, because what will they come on board to campaign? Now he's telling us that he will do a town hall. He does not believe in shouting. He will gather the people. He was there. Was the life of the people better when he was there? So what does he think he wants to come and do different? Because I'm still waiting to hear what APC will come on board to campaign with, to convince the people beyond reasonable doubt. Because it's obvious they are in the one in power, and you've done chairmanship for Kajuru for 4 years or 3.5. Does the life of the people change? And you think if you come on board, what do you think you are coming on board to do? So you are just waiting, and we just hope that the campaign kickstarts in the next 20 days.
Thank you, Engineer Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, we're still waiting for the call. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Go
Hello.
Go on.
Yes, hello, good morning. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Musa Bala, and I welcome your guest.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask this following question to your guest because he has expressed.
Hello.
Hello, okay, I can get you.
That
you can listen to the people and do as he promised. I campaign for APC.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you with me?
Yes, go ahead.
Your line is breaking.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to ask Cafra Caino.
Well, Musa Bola, do well to call. You can try another line again. We have another caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Very good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from.
Your name?
Thank you.
Kure.
Danjuma, Lawrence, Elder Mazi, and
Mazi is not here. Mazi is not here.
Point Chairman. He has gone already. Kure is the name.
Okay, Kure.
He has spoken very well. I thank him for speaking. We host a town meeting with him in Sabo, in a particular church, during the time of this insecurity that has just started. And he promised us. I think he has done his best, but his best is not good enough. Based on my own understanding, it's not good enough because his party is in a ruling side. So what will can he tell me that the insecurity during 2014 and now, which one is better? That he can come and overcome it. Secondly, I keep on saying this, politicians are the same. They shouldn't be blaming each other. During the time of Jonathan, we were thinking that it is worse, not knowing that we will be dropped in Lagoon. But we thank God, their eyes is now opening. They should shine it very well so that nobody will come and give me false promises. Let them campaign on what they know they will do. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me just sound a note of caution. The candidate we have here is contesting for the Federal House of Reps, not to be president. So I think that we should ask questions that are around his capacity for the Green Chambers or around his capacity when he was a local government chairman. Let's leave out the president or governor or whatever they had promised in the past and focus on the 2023 general election. Do you think he can do it and the issues around it, please? Thank you. More calls.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, sir.
Well, your voice is quite low. You can do well to call back again. Hello, good morning.
Sir, good morning, Jeff Daniel. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Musa Bola, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I want to ask Cafra Caino that a promise is a promise. Musa Bala have not only donated a free land to Kajuru local government when she was a chairman, but my personal land was forcefully confiscated under his watch by his administration, myself and 9 others, for a constituency project, which he promised to pay. But up to the time that he left office, he has paid nothing. Sadly, me campaigning for APC now, a PDP chairman, started paying some of my people because I said they should be paid before me. And at the same time, he happened to be the chairman that worked throughout his tenure among the few chairman or the only chairman in Karnataka that his speaker have never ever have a mobile or a vehicle that he can call himself. That is the third in command in local government. What will be different now? Because he has called me, we have sat down with him. I met him in office. He met me before the certain Kasomageni, which he promised to pay, but he has not paid, and he has not treated his legislative speaker the way he's supposed to be paid. Now, in case he wins this election, what will change? How can he keep to his promises? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're still receiving calls.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and where you're
my
calling
name
from?
is Tai calling from Bana.
All right, Tai, go ahead.
You see, I listened to your resource person in the house. You see, we're not campaigning now because I will hold you responsible. In fact, I'm with Jota. I was just joting most of the things he was just saying. This is not campaign period. You understand? Just the way the last caller just said. If he become or he won a House of Rep, what will he do different? Because they say charity began at home. When he was a chairman, you understand? What did he do to the common man, or what did he do to the Guarawas and the Kaderas that put 2 square meals into their table that they will not consider voting him? And he claimed he stays in Fabo. Which area in Fabo did he stay? Because I remember when he came to Salbaji, he came to Salbaji to seek for his help, to support him. He was supposed to sit on the floor. He went and sit on the couch. You understand? That was, in fact, that was wrong. That was wrong. You don't do it.
Please, can we please focus on the issues?
In the north. You understand? But in fact,
Hello, Tai.
you know what?
Hey, Tai, are you listening?
I'm listening.
Please focus on the issues. All right, can we go straight to the issues and not go personal?
No, excuse me. It's still the issue because
it's not an issue, but it's more personal to you.
Seeking for his help. What do? You understand, but all you need to
all
do.
Right, Tai, please let me just take you off. Please, let's go straight to the points because he's contesting. So let's not go back on things of the past. So let's go straight to the point. And if you want to ask him a question, you ask him a direct question. Well, we understand where that's heading to, but you have 2 minutes and 2 minutes only. All right. Well, let's suspend the calls for now. Let me just get to Facebook because we're streaming live on Facebook. We have people who are dropping questions, very, very hard questions on the Facebook page. All right, also Francis Namani, all the way from Amagunze in Enugu State, says today's topic is very interesting. Salisu Bola, watching from Kajuru, Kaduna State. And Lidus Isaac, we see you. Now, Solon Barrow says, good morning to everyone in the studio. It's disheartening and unfortunate that Kajuru and Chikun Federal Constituency are on the back seat. In my opinion, I don't see a headway in the manifesto of the guest. Let me talk about the insecurity while he was the executive chairman of Kajuru local government. Did he mention how many IDP camps were settled in his tenure and how many people were killed and sacked from their villages? He said he lobbies and he worked with how many telecommunications companies or mass networks has he brought by lobbying to the villages for easy communication? And he said that he's asking questions on questions. These questions are quite lengthy. Solomon Barrow, I don't think I can take most of these questions, but I'm looking for the actual place where he asked a question. He's just asking question on question. Says charity begins at home. How many development projects has he secured in his ward, Maru ward? That's the final question I'll pick there. Abdul Abubakar says I'm watching live from Lagos State and greeting my incoming good leader to chikun and kajuru 2023, inshallah, Honorable Cafra Caino. Chima Nachi says, do you think that your government has done well to be elected back into all offices come 2023? Well, that's another question. Khalif Harun Otayoke says, good morning, Invicta. I heard your guest talking about training some of his constituents in the area of maritime engineering, especially where it is known that his constituent does not have a seaport or a big river where ships can berth. So I want to ask him how are those trained in that area that can add value to the community and her people. Thank you. Okay, Salom Baro, you sent another message, the same message again. Marsa Yahuda Arwan says, good morning to your guest. I've been following your program. Chukwu and Kajuru constituency has not been developed as expected, especially in the aspect of road construction, example in areas like Sabon Tesha, Gonongora, and so on. What approach will your guest do if elected to the House of Representatives? And Joel Matthew Gwaza says, from Gonongora, says, good morning, gentlemen in the studio. Honorable Caino, he has spoken well. I just hope when elected, your number one focus will be on combating the ravaging insecurity in the constituency, especially the chikun axis, and also look into the dilapidated road networks in the constituency as well. We are hoping the message, okay, says we are hoping that we're hoping for a better change come 2023 in the constituency, the state, and the country at large. And this message is from Augustine Shemang in Kaduna. Says, good morning, anchors. It's not today that we're hearing promises from those vying for political offices, and once they are there, something else is what we see. We do integrity. Okay, let's just leave that part. Yeah, all right. I just wanted to. I think he's asking the question. Okay, all right. Well, I wouldn't take that message, Shamang. Thank you. Ogulo Daniel Dalatu. Good morning. Young Gado says, good morning, Invicta. Hon Cafra Caino has spoken well. We wish him well and we hope he does as he has promised when elected. The problem with some politicians is they are seen during campaigns but disappear after elected. I wish the Honorable is not that type of politician. For the past 20 years, Kajuru Chukwu constituency has not experienced any dividend of democracy. I wish the Honorable success come 2023. Okay, I think... okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's go back to receiving calls because I think there's some messages there.
I don't know. You want to receive all the calls before we respond because there's a lot of
questions.
Yeah, sure.
Let's just take one.
Let's just pick one more call and then we're done. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah, you're speaking with John Mark.
John Mark calling from where?
From television.
From television. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, my submission is about the Honorable there with you. I must say he gave a good presentation, but he spoke about things he intends to do, like creating entrepreneurship or some programs like that. So I don't know, has he been able to do that on the chairmanship level, or it is during the present position he's vying for that he would want to do that? And also the issue of the Kasoma Ganin market is such a very great project. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's a great project, but he talked about community-based program. So my question here is, how has that project helped the community people there? Since the area he's coming from is an area that has to do with peasant farmers and all these petty traders. So how has that project been of great impact to the people or the community at large?
Thank you very much for your questions. It's time now for Honorable Caino to respond to some of them.
Thank you very much. It's a lot of, I understand how people have been responding to issues. You know, the present issues in the country has pushed some people to really be bitter about a lot of things. But then someone said 2014, the insecurity, and now how has it changed? Well, one thing I know is that the insecurity started and it's a trend that has been growing. I wouldn't want to exclude any leader from taking responsibility from what is happening right now. But from the onset, when insecurity started in Nigeria, if it was properly attacked and repelled, taken care of, if there was enough concentration and attention paid to insecurity, I think we wouldn't have been where we are today. I don't want to say this is the person who started or this is the person who is to end it. I don't want to know that. But then what I'm saying in leadership, we have to make concerted efforts. We have to be dedicated to some little issues, because if we let them be, they grow into unsurmountable problems as we are facing today. Kaso Magani, Engineer Manuel talked about being under lock and key. You see, one of the most important things in governance or leadership is for the electorate to be able to elect a visionary leader. I don't want to start talking about Singapore and all that, because I don't know if the person who asked this question may get to understand. But I will refer you to go and read about the story of Lee Kuan Yew, how he has been able to transform Singapore to what it is today. It took time. Kaso Magani under lock and key. Kaso Magani, when it was built, was supposed to, because in Kajuru local government, one of our main occupation, apart from agriculture, is the Kaso Magani market. It has been the heart of our economic activities. It is the center, as in highest revenue generating activity in Kajuru local government. And when I became chairman, due to the crisis in 2018, before I was chairman, the market was locked because the entire market was burnt down. There was no market at all. I came, a year later, I reopened the market, creating opportunity for people, because most of the residents in Kaso Magani depend on their market for their daily feeding. We reopened the market, we rebuilt the market. When we built this market that started in Kaso Magani, we were looking at the bigger picture. We were looking at empowering people. We were looking at seeing farmers exporting their goods directly. That's why we have warehouses, about close to about 14 warehouses, large warehouses. And let me also shock you. One of these warehouses was supposed to be taken by Nigerian breweries. They were interested in our rice. They were interested in our wheat. That's Guinea corn, right? They were interested in it. So they want to take one of the warehouses so that they can buy directly. That's Dawa, if you understand in Hausa. Buy directly from the farmers and then store up. When they have enough, then they move it to their factories. And also we started making negotiations with Olam's farm, so that they can also own one of the warehouses, so that they can also buy maize, which they use for their produce, and buy it and have it in livestock and move it. When you talk about market, I'm not the kind of person who came with a very small idea. I came with a big idea. I came to open up Kajuru to the world. After building the market when Osibanjo was around, we had plans on which we finished the work, everything survey. We're supposed to construct a road from Kaso Magani that links to Jos through the back. It's going to go across 3 local governments. That's Kajuru, Igabi, Wusar and Pako, and then through Kauru. The road is going to extend straight to Jos. If there was continuity, like I said, I lost the election last year. But part of our plans, it's not something you do one day. It's a continuation. And we have started this project. I paid personally for this project, the survey and everything. If we had gone ahead, we would have been able to complete that, opening Kajuru and the market itself to a lot of opportunity, vast opportunities. But I was hoping that the present chairman will come and continue this, but it's not under me. It's beyond me. But the market, when you look at it, you said it's under lock and key. I am not the chairman of the local government right now. A lot of things that happened then in the local government was because I was dedicated. I paid focus, I paid attention to details, and I was determined to ensure that I move Kajuru local government to where I want it to be. So if the market is under lock and key, I think the community can get themselves together, get the entire people, the market officials, go and see the chairman. Why don't you beg him to open the market? It's within his purview, it's within his power to open the market. In fact, a lot of local government have complained that this is a very huge project. Why Kajuru? Why Kajuru? Kajuru people should be happy and lucky that they have something like this. And I think the market has been created for you. You don't wait for government to open. I didn't close the market and go with the key. So meet your chairman, speak to him. You want the market open. The market will be open. That market has vast opportunities for you. Please take advantage of these privileges. And then I didn't mention that I was going to end security in 3 months. Engineer Emmanuel said that. I didn't mention that.
He said the government,
your party, to your party.
Well, like you said,
yes.
I am not the president. I'm not vying for the post of the president. I'm vying for the post of House Representative. If you have any sentiments against anybody, wait until the day the person is in the radio. You can directly ask him. But I will answer what I can say. And what I can promise is what I can tell you. I didn't say I will end insecurity in 3 months, but I told you some of the things I will do. I don't want to repeat them. I mentioned them here. And then also I think where a lot of electorates get it wrong. I'm from the APC, and I will vouch for any candidate of APC. But then the electorate need to be more aware. Once you say it's about party, you always get it wrong, because sometimes you throw good candidates. So if electorates can be more enlightened and go for candidates, what has changed? Parties are just platforms. Sometimes you find the best of candidates in a party you so detest, you don't like. So should you say because he's in this party I'm throwing him away? I think that is the kind of political awareness the churches and mosques need to create for the people. Not campaign, but create that kind of awareness. Community leaders need to create that kind of awareness. Candidate is what you should be looking at. Because tell me the party that hasn't failed, or tell me the party that will come and will not fail you. The expectation from the electorate is so huge, so large, that nobody can meet it. That is the fact. So we say things we can promise, things we can fulfill. And then coming to Kure. Kure talked about my best wasn't enough. I did my best, but my best wasn't enough. One thing I can say proudly is that while I was chairman, I had a bulletproof vest in the car. And whenever there was a call, security call challenge, I go into the forest with the military. I told you that. That is the highest sacrifice a leader can do. Go into the forest himself. I did that. And then maybe my best wasn't enough because I was limited. I mentioned that earlier. I said that is why I want to go to Federal House of Reps, because I will have more opportunities to bring help, especially concerning insecurity. As chairman, I didn't have the power to give orders and tell soldiers to do how I want. They have to also take orders from their superiors. So I was limited. And that is why most time I entered the bush myself, me and my locals. I was limited as chairman. Now I want a bigger platform so that I can be limitless to what I can do for my people. So also you talk about insecurity 2014 and now what will change. I think I've answered that. Yeah. Over time, when you let a little problem, it becomes a bigger problem. So I think all hands needs to be put on deck. And then when you talk about why this insecurity is not ending, let me also shock you and open up another thing. One thing I've experienced as chairman of Kajuru local government was that they were collaborators with these bandits and kidnappers. That is a known fact now. They are collaborators. If not, who points house that this house, he has car, he has money, go and pick him up. Bandits will come, they will skip plenty houses and go to a particular house. How did they get information that he has money? When you sell your goods in the market, you sell your goods. They are watching, they see you. They go and tell them he has sold his good. There were people like that in Kajuru that were met. Yes, yesterday you made so amount from the market. Where is the money? How did it happen? Because they are internal collaborators. We had to deal with a lot of that issue. Whenever we think we've nipped something in the bud, something comes up. Whenever securities are going, there was a time we mobilized with Chikun and Kachia. Over 150 personnel, security personnel, to go into the bush. On their way there, they were ambushed. How did it happen? Informants were giving them information that military were coming. This is number of vehicles, this number of bikes, and all that. So we have to look at these things. Musa Bala talked about constituency project in Kaswa Magani. It was a hospital that was done by the senator. Well, first of all, that is where we're also, people just look at government as an avenue to make money. If I have a land and the community needs a hospital, I will donate my land for the hospital to be built. But that notwithstanding, the contractors came, they had an agreement with the Sarki. I just took them to the Sarki. They did their agreement and everything. If there is anybody that should be held responsible, he should go back to the Sarki, not me. The Sarki provided the land, not me. So Musa Bala, I think you should go. I remember you, and then you say speaker never had a car. We paid, my government, while I was in chairman, we paid for a Hummer bus for the speaker, a Hummer bus for the legislature. I started paying. I left as chairman, they were still paying. I don't know if they continue paying or they stopped, I don't know. But they can go to the local government secretariat or Ministry of Local Government and confirm. We started paying. The car went for 23 million or so. We had paid about 10 million already. And then, sorry, it's a lot. I wish I had more time. But then you talked about Baggy. What did I do to Baggy? I'm the first executive chairman that gave 2 Baggy people councillors in Kajuru local government. In Kajuru local government, 90% is predominantly Adara people. 90%, more than over 90%. But Baggy are only in Buddha. You can find them in Buddha and Rafiruru. But I gave one person from Kasomagani, Jume Ishaya. She was a supervisory councillor. Secondly, I gave Bulis Dai. He was secretary to Kamazo, former Hakimi. I gave him I made him councillor, as we nominated him for councillorship. So Baggy people can attest to that when you come to Kajuru. And then I think I stay in Sabo. Let me just tell him I stay in Angwampama. I wouldn't want to drop my address here because for security reasons. I stay in Angwampama. And anytime, let me just shock you, anytime they go to fix the cemetery, I go to them to the cemetery to cut grasses and fix it because my mother has been buried in Angwampama Cemetery. Let me just tell you, I went to Government Day Secondary School, Sabontesha. I'm a bona fide member of the Sabo close to Kantiaga, if you want to know. Mobile networks, just in a few seconds, mobile networks. I brought mobile network in Gefe in Kala and local in Kala ward. I brought mobile network to Kutura. So all these things are there for you to find out. In Maro ward, I did strike force. It's still there. Go and verify. As someone will say, go and verify.
Thank you.
It's a lot I can say.
We run out of time.
Lastly, the maritime he talked about. I think Khalif also, he needs to understand what I'm talking about. If people are not open to bigger ideas, they can never get it right. Because I will be member Chikun Kajuru doesn't mean I will train people to work within Chikun Kajuru. I want to raise generals in the army. I want to push people to other sectors. I want people in custom and maritime. I will take them to Port Harcourt and get them jobs. It's about employment. It's not about getting them jobs in. Thank you very much. It's a lot. I wish we had time to say a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. We believe we'll take this conversation we were discussing earlier on. We would be doing probably a town hall meeting where we'll bring all of you contestants to really share more of your ideas.
We love that.
Yes, we've run out of time. So I would like to quickly hand over to Job Daniel to thank my colleague Lawrence Obiwe and our guest Honorable Cafra Caino, who took our time. In fact, you've always been close to the civil society, so we want to thank you for always acknowledging our invitation and always participating. To Mr. Friday, thank you for being in the studio
Friday,
with us.
Damien.
Yeah, over to you, Job. Thank you.
All right, we call it a wrap on the program, the agenda. Thanks to each and every person who took our time to listen and those who called. Thank you very much. The program will come your way again next week, Thursday, with another candidate who is contesting. So do have a victorious Thursday.